Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 8 dangerous apps you need to delete now. Believe it or not, there may be some dangerous apps on your phone right now. These apps do a variety of bad things, and you should delete them. But these apps often hide in plain sight, and most people probably have at least one on their phone. But before we get into it, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too? Coming up first, we have weather apps. Weather apps are a kind of app which is super popular, but some weather apps, especially ones on Android, often contain a lot of viruses. Years ago, weather apps were super popular. Your phone likely does come with a weather app, but it's pretty basic. That's why many people downloaded various different kinds of weather apps. However, it turned out many of these weather apps actually contained many viruses and things called Trojans. Because mainly older people download weather apps, these app developers thought no one would notice. But obviously people did notice when they realized money going out of their bank accounts. That's because some of these weather apps actually have a Trojan in them. This is basically something that records every single key you press on your keypad. That means whenever you're entering in passwords or credit card info, the app sees this. This information was then sent to the very dodgy developers of these apps, and then they stole a lot of money. One of the most popular apps was called Good Weather, but according to We Live Security, this turned out to be a malicious app that stole information of users. So make sure you only download legit weather apps and don't download ones which have viruses. Next up is Unknown Antivirus. So with all these apps out there that can give you a virus, many people download antivirus apps onto their cell phones. But ironically, a lot of the time, these antiviruses contain viruses. Now, there are some antivirus apps out there which are totally fine, but you need to make sure before you download an antivirus app, it's from a known developer. Be sure to look into the developer, and if it's something legit like Norton, then you should download it. But if you've never heard of the developer or they seem suspicious, then avoid that app at all costs. Some antivirus apps even contain adverts. That doesn't necessarily mean they'll give you a virus, but most people don't want unnecessary ads all over their phones. The reason why there's so many fake antivirus apps is because developers realize it's easier to make an antivirus app than a virus app. Antivirus apps need access to all documents so they can scan through for any viruses. But of course, these fake antivirus apps use it for things like stealing your passwords and personal data. And in some cases, these fake antivirus apps have even completely locked the phone. This means the person who uses the phone cannot access it. However, someone else can remotely access it and pretty much take over your phone. Next up is apps for increasing RAM. For anyone who doesn't know what RAM is, it means random access memory. This is how much space you have on your phone for files and other things. For example, you may have bought your phone with 12 GB of RAM. This means you can store 12 GB worth of photos, apps, music, and documents. But I'm sure we've all got that message on our phones before saying you're almost all out of storage. That's why many people, instead of buying a new phone or more RAM, which can be expensive, download a free RAM increasing app. But be warned, there is no way an app can increase RAM on your phone. RAM is a piece of hardware and it can't be downloaded. It's actually a physical thing you need to put into your phone. The apps that claim to give you more RAM are usually just RAM optimizers. This means they just clear your temporary files, which you can just do anyway on your phone settings. Sometimes these RAM increasing apps actually cost money, which is a total rip-off. And sometimes the free ones can actually collect your data, which is never a good thing. Also, because it needs to delete your temporary files, it can look through all of your documents and easily seize your data. So be warned when it comes to downloading apps which claim to give you more free RAM. Next up, we have lie detectors. It kind of goes without saying that lie detector apps are just a load of rubbish. Maybe you can just use them for fun and pretend like it works, and that is why most people download them. But the dangerous thing about these apps isn't that they don't actually work. Instead, it's been found that these apps dramatically shorten your battery life. These apps can easily track things like your location or other things in the background and are always on. Most of these app developers don't make too much money just from you downloading a free app. That's why they do things like collect your data sometimes and sell the data to make money. Obviously, this is not the case with every lie detector app, but be warned before downloading one. If it asks you for access like things to your personal contacts and other information, then don't download it. Chances are they just want your info and your data to sell. Also, they take up tons of battery space, so be wary before downloading a lie detector app. Next up is social media. When I say you shouldn't have social media apps on your phone, I'm not telling you to go delete Facebook, Instagram, and other fun apps. But oftentimes, you may have the wrong kind of app for what you need. Some social media apps like Facebook take up a lot of battery space and storage. That's because there's so much stuff on the app and it often does run in the background. But don't worry, because many developers actually make a light version of their apps. It's much better to download the light version of many social media apps. This light version not only saves your battery life, but it also costs less money. Let's say you're browsing out and about on 3G. These light apps take up way less data from your phone, which saves you money as well as battery life. This is the case for most social media apps, so just make sure you download the right ones and you'll save battery life and money. Next up is built-in browsers. When you first open up your brand new cell phone, you likely have some internet browsers built in. But these browsers are often not very good. Browsers which are built right into phones are usually very slow and not very popular. It's like using Internet Explorer after getting a PC. Most people download something like Chrome or Firefox instead. Well, that's the exact same on your cell phone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android. You can download an app like the Google Chrome app and it makes for a much better browsing experience. Unlike Google Chrome, these built-in browsers have no protection from data interception. This means people can hack and see what you're typing in very easily. And any information you put into that built-in browser is not necessarily secure. Not only that, they're also known for slowing down system performance and just not working very well and having very few features. So make sure when you buy a new phone you download a new browser and don't use the built-in one. Next up we have optimizers. Is your phone acting up or being really slow? You may be feeling down about this and then see an app saying, "We can clean your phone for free." Well, some things are too good to be true, unfortunately. Many apps which claim to be optimizers don't really optimize your phone at all. Instead, these apps often perform functions your phone can do anyway in its settings. That's stuff like clearing your phone's cache and unnecessary apps and programs. Pretty much every phone can just do this on its own without downloading any special apps. Ironically, many of these optimizer apps actually slow your phone down even more and also take up lots of battery space. And not only that, many of these optimizers have a lot of adverts in them too. So get ready to spend a few hours a day closing down tons of random ads that pop up all over your phone. And these apps can also easily collect personal data, so be warned when it comes to downloading optimizer apps. Coming up next is defragmentation apps. You may be wondering, what is a defragmentation app? Well, defragmentation is the process of arranging files into fragments. For example, you could fit many files into one fragment, which frees up a lot of space on your phone. For example, you could put a lot of files in one fragment, which frees up a lot of space on your computer. But be warned, this only works on computers and does not work on phones. Cell phones don't have hard drives for these apps to defragment. Most phones already have this function anyway, so you really don't need it. These phones don't save you any storage space like they claim, and may even collect your personal data. These apps are very popular as people think they work the same way they do on computers. But really, these apps are usually just lying to you despite their good reviews they may have. Next up is browsers with additional features. I've already told you that it's best to download a different browser instead of using your phone's built-in one. But when it comes to getting a browser, make sure you use one which is legit, like Opera, Google Chrome, or Firefox. Downloading a dodgy one which has additional features like watching movies or streaming music isn't usually a good idea. A lot of the time, these apps have many adverts, which is very annoying. A good browser shouldn't have tons of ads bombarding you all the time, so make sure you download one without ads. Not only that, because of the additional features, whether it be music, movies, or games, this can make your system very slow. Get ready for your battery life to go from 100 to 0 very fast. And not only a lot of the time, these apps ask for lots and lots of permissions, including managing phone calls. This is obviously very unsecure, and it's best to avoid apps that ask for way too much access to your cell phone. Instead, download a browser which is legit and you know works well without any ads or dodgy features. So those were the dangerous apps you should delete right now from your phone. But now it's time to vote in the poll in the top right corner. Has your phone ever been hacked or got a virus? Yes or no? Luckily mine hasn't, and hopefully if I follow these tips it never will. If you guys want some more amazing videos and facts, check out my second channel. There's a bunch of awesome life hacks on it and there'll be a link to it on screen coming up in a second. But as always, thank you for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now, leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.